So Janice covered most of this already. So in terms of pesticides, like I mentioned, there is a pesticide ban. In order for a private landowner as yourselves, or anyone who is not directly related to the Ministry of Natural Resources, in order for them to use pesticides to control Phragmites, they do need a written opinion from an M&R district office. This means that you would have to submit an application to the M&R district office in, requesting that you be given this written opinion, allowing you to spray Roundup to control Phragmites, and you have to indicate to them that you'll be doing this with an integrated pest management plan so that you have an overall long-term plan in place, and that it's for natural resource management. So the important thing here is that it's a cosmetic pesticide ban. We don't want to get rid of Phrag because it's ugly or because you can't see the beach from your house because the Phrag has gone up. That's not our concern. We are upset that you can no longer see the beach, but we're more concerned about the habitat that's been lost and the changes in the systems. So it's more, for us, it is entirely a natural resource management issue. It's not a cosmetic issue. Also, pesticides have to be applied by a licensed pesticide applicator. I know that currently, even in light of this ban, you can still buy this Roundup on shelves. You can buy it. I've heard you can still get it at TSC, and it's not difficult at all to purchase. But under MOE's cosmetic pesticide ban, under all of the regulations, it has to be applied by a licensed pesticide applicator. And there is a narrow window of late summer, early fall. So now, if you have the permission, now is about the time that you guys would want to be spraying. So again, like Janice said, Roundup is the only pesticide that currently can be used for Phragmites, and while it is not yet on the label, that's one of the things I've been working towards, is having Phragmites listed directly on the label so that there can be no, concerns or arguments about it. So as was mentioned earlier, pesticides in Ontario currently for Phragmites cannot be sprayed aerially or over water, and that's causing a huge challenge for us. I'm sure you realize that most of the Phrag here in Oliphant is in standing water for at least most of the year, so we're working towards hopefully getting that changed. And it's important, Janice mentioned she did this, is to do wildlife assessments before you're spraying so that you're making sure there aren't any animals. Even though Roundup does have a fairly low toxicity rate for animals and wildlife, you want to make sure that there isn't anything in there that you weren't aware of before you start spraying. And Janice mentioned that cutting and rolling is important, as well as integrating with possibly a prescribed burn plan. So this is just a juxtaposition of the two pictures Janice used, and you can see this is in McLean's Marsh and Rondeau, and you've got a really, really thick Phragmites stand on the left, and that was, I believe, in fall of 2007, and then the picture on the right is in the spring of 2008. So that's probably about a 6 to 8 month window. And just to clarify, there's standing water in the spring. In the aftershot, that water wasn't there when she sprayed in the fall. So she had a dry area with the patch that was, I believe in this one, it was about 97% Phragmites. They came in and sprayed and cut, and that's what they were left with afterwards. And you can see that basically all the Phragmites is gone. You've got one little shoot in the bottom right that can easily be spot treated, but basically you're getting back to the marsh conditions that were there originally. So this is one of Janice's big successes that we like to show people. Okay, so this is basically the important part of my presentation. I was hired in the spring. I'm the Provincial Phragmites Control Coordinator, and I work with a group called the Provincial Phragmites Task Group. In 2007, a bunch of biologists across the province from a variety of organizations and agencies, I think including Jeff, Janice, and a few other people, came together because they realized that Phragmites was becoming a really big problem and they wanted to do something about it. So they had a whole bunch of different tasks and projects on their plate, but the problem was that, like Janice mentioned, most of them were doing this work externally to what their job descriptions actually entailed, and so there was all this excitement and, I guess, momentum to do this work, but there wasn't enough manpower or hours to get it done. So I was brought in as a biologist to be solely dedicated to Phragmites control. And so it's been my job to kind of coordinate the effort across the province. So you know that there are things happening up here, that's why I'm here today. Projects happening at Wasaga Beach, in Rondeau, at Turkey Point, and I'm basically trying to direct everyone towards the same goal and make sure that there's a duplication of effort, and make sure that everyone provincially ultimately is working towards the same Phragmites control goal and working using the same, methods. And we've been trying to establish some best management practices, which would basically be a guidance document that people could refer to, whether they be private landowners or resource managers, that they can use to determine what kind of approach would be best to use in their specific situation in terms of Phragmites control.